Welcome to the Fire Family Collective podcast, the show dedicated to supporting the unsung heroes of the fire service, the wives, partners, and families who hold down the fort while their firefighters serve. Hello, welcome to Fire Family Collective. I am Amanda, and I am so excited I get to chat with Chelsea today. How are you, Chelsea?
Good.
I'm so good. I always love our time together. One of my favorite memories is driving down to Long Beach to hang out with you when you were close in the area, and I got to sit down, chat with you, give you a hug in person. Social media is great. Connecting virtually is amazing, but there's nothing like hugging someone in real life and sitting across the table and sharing a meal. So I'm so happy we're talking again virtually, and I can't wait to have the world hear more about Chelsea and all things real life with you.
It was such a fun time. Yeah. And the food was good too.
The food was so good. What did we get, like a pastrami sandwich or something I think I ate? I don't know. It was so good.
I don't even remember. It was something with a lot of cheese. That's all I remember. And it was so good.
Yeah, so good. It was like a massive sandwich too. It was like, how do I? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It was great. It was like, I think this is a fork and a knife sandwich.
Yes. And then always like French fries. Gotta have some good greasy French fries. So good. Yeah. Awesome. Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Who is Chelsea? Where are you at in this season of life?
So I am a fire wife. My husband works for the state fire department, and I have 3 boys. So I'm a boy mom. They are ages 21, 17, and 16. And let's see, we live in Mendocino, California. I'm a full-time wedding photographer, which is really great because that means I don't have to be a 9-to-5 mom. I can be home when my kids are out of school, and I kind of get to make my own schedule. It wasn't always like that. I was a dental assistant and office manager for a dental office for 20 years. And so I kind of transitioned out of that when my kids got into middle school. And so it's kind of new, but kind of not. What else? I've recently become a sourdough fanatic.
I love sourdough. For about a year, I was making sourdough and doing the crazy, like wake up at 3 to switch as I'm like learning the timing of everything. And I've gotten out of it. And my kids and my sister are like, can you bring that back?
It's interesting. I have had some major flops, but I feel like I'm finally like, I actually, during Christmas break when the kids were out of school and I didn't have to be anywhere, I actually made 8 loaves to like get it right.
Amazing.
Yeah. Like one right after the next to learn how to shape it and all of that.
Even if I made like the worst sourdough, it was still better than anything I could buy at the store. I was like, I totally messed it up, but it still tasted so good.
Yes. So that's my new obsession.
I love that. You'll send me your perfect tips so that maybe it'll inspire me to get back into it.
My husband and I went to San Francisco and spent an entire day at Boudin's just watching them shape bread and eating sourdough. And it was just recently during Christmas time. It was fantastic. Like, yes. Hands down, best experience ever. So that's my big tip is like go somewhere where you can actually watch
such a good idea.
The chefs do it. Cause it's like, oh, well, that's not as hard as it makes it look online.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's, one of my big tips, but anyway, that's my newest obsession. I try to keep myself busy when my husband isn't here. He's gone 4 days a week. And basically that's it. We're just living life. I have 3 dogs. I'm also a dog mom.
3 boys, 3 dogs.
Yes. Yes. But we live on a really big piece of property, so I can just send the dogs outside and they can run around. So not as big of a responsibility, but yeah.
And you recently remodeled your bathroom. I need to see an update. I kind of have been off social media for the most part, so I missed the final product. I'm going to need to see a picture. How are you on that?
We love our new bathroom. It's not quite finished. There's some final details that we haven't like really worked out, but for the most, like the bigger stuff is done. And now we're moving on to a deck redo.
Ooh,
So
it's homeownership. It's always something. Yeah.
it's always something. And it always seems like it's when they're on duty. Like
Hmm.
something always breaks when they're on duty. And I'm like, I don't know how to fix this.
Oh, yeah. It's like the water heater goes out and you're with the kids at home and you're like, I have no hot water to bathe my kids and I live at the beach and we're full of sand and my kids, I need to bathe them. Oh, the toilet decides to break and overflow down to the garage and you're on duty for countless days. That's great. Just, okay, here we go. It's always something. It's not just like a small little, smoke
No.
alarm going off.
No, it's the kitchen's flooded because the dishwasher's leaking, or yeah,
Yeah.
it's something insane. It can't
Yeah.
just be like something I could like maybe tighten a
No.
nut or something.
Yes. Yeah.
It's not, yeah,
Always.
always something. It's never ending. And homeownership's just like that, I think, in general.
Yeah.
There's always something, especially if you like, we bought a 1975 built A-frame, redwood A-frame in the woods. And so it came with its quirks and it's, we're slowly remodeling one room at a time. The bathroom was not on the top of the list until it was flooding into my lower bathroom. And so you just go with it,
Yep.
Just,
Yeah. I didn't know we were going to spend $12,000 that way, but here you go. Take all the money and
yeah, luckily we had already bought the stuff to do it. It was just like, we're going to do it later because Cameron can do most of that work himself, which is really handy because we don't have to pay a contractor to do it. But that also comes with, time and having the time off in order to do it. So
yeah, I know
yeah.
it's so hard. You're like, do I pay someone to do it? Because then I get that time back with my firefighter, or they're already gone anyways, or if they're qualified and skilled to do it, or yeah, like, do they do it? And it's kind of like a fun project we do together. He already has the time off. We have the materials. Yeah, it's always that dance of figuring out what are we going to hire out because I actually don't know how to pour cement, but I can do this other part of it. The demo is easy. I can paint, figuring out those things.
Yeah. I have none of those skills, so it's all him.
Same. Like I can pick out the color. I can barely paint. But like, yeah, I'm not doing any crazy art project. I can't make a mural or anything cutesy. I can buy wallpaper.
I don't even know if I could put wallpaper up. Like that's a whole skill in and of itself.
Yes, I know. Oh my gosh. It's crazy. And then you also recently started your own fire support space as well. Can you tell us about that?
Did. So it's called Home the Line at Home. Oh my goodness. Please hold the line at home. And my heart behind it was really to talk about the things that nobody's talking about that happen at home and how we all feel, but we never really say. And to really give people language and support for what, the homemakers. We're here with our kids. We're dealing with our own emotions. They have emotions. And especially when our firefighters are out for a very long time on the line or, they're stuck on duty because of all of the lovely overtime that we have in California. So that was really my heart behind it. And it's been fantastic. I've met some really cool people through the podcast that I started in August. And just we're just plugging along.
Yeah, it's so cool. One of my favorite things is the connection that we get from this online space. And like I said, when we started, like getting to hang out with you in person, incredible. Nothing beats that. However, there's less likely of a chance I would have met you without this online side of it. And that's why spaces like your page, Hold the Line at Home, and Fire Family Collective, we can be introduced and make those initial connections and then dive deeper however our relationship evolves. And getting to meet people and, like you said, have those conversations in your podcasts or even just in a quick Instagram post or something to spark, the initial connection. It's so cool. And that's one of the things I am thankful for with technology and the evolution of it, is that we get to bring those things forward and meet all these incredible people. It's so rad.
Well, and I feel like too, and I've talked about this on my own podcast, like that tribe, we've gotten so far away from it in society. And I feel like with things like Fire Family Collective, we can kind of build it back up. And community is so important. I don't, I felt so alone for so long in my marriage and in the fire service. And it just like I was grasping at straws to try to find someone who understood. Even within the fire service itself, it felt like nobody understood what I specifically was going through because nobody was brave enough to say.
Yes.
Right.
And so scared to talk about it with people in your own department. You want to kind of go outside of it to feel like you can open up more.
Yeah. Yep. And, the online space is great. I would love us to get together more often in person. I feel like there's also something to be said for that. And it's wonderful to get to, like you said, hug somebody in person and share a meal, because I do believe that's very much a part of our culture as well, is we like to sit down over a meal and talk and, have a good time. And so, yeah, I think creating online spaces and then opportunities to meet in person is kind of the heart behind what I'm doing. I'm just building it up right now. So it's not, I don't even know where it's going at this point.
Right.
But that's kind of.
And you remind me, was Cameron already hired for the fire department when you started dating him? No. Okay. So that's also another, you've been through so many different seasons as a human, as Chelsea, and then as Chelsea and Cameron plus kids, right? Like, I think that is something that is so incredible when we have these online spaces that we can, like you said, feel less alone. Like, we're going to feel lonely at times. That's just nature. But to have this collective space we can all come to and have community and say, like, I don't know exactly what you're going through, but I can relate because I remember what it was like to be Chelsea and working full time and to have a different identity than this version of Chelsea 22 years later with 3 kids and 3 dogs, and my husband's career is in a different place. And let's talk about it. Like, I'm here for you. And that's just, you can't put that into words. The feeling, it's just so incredible.
Yeah. A lot of growing goes on over the course of our lifetime, right? And we grow together and we grow as individuals and we watch our children grow. And those transformations are incredible. I think a year ago is when we started kind of talking, almost a year ago, is when we kind of started talking, and our family was in major crisis during that time. And the transformation of one of our kids through this last year has been an incredible experience to watch. And it's really taught me that we can go through things and we can feel really lonely inside of that stuff, but we are going to come out a totally different person at the end of it. And it also taught me that I really need to depend on myself a lot more and be confident in the things that I'm doing. And so, yeah. And I guess a little bit more vocal about the things that we go through.
Yeah.
Because somebody else has experienced it or is experiencing it too. And again, that community and the feeling of there's other people that feel this way or know what this feels like is an incredible thing. So
yeah. You being bold and you being brave and having the courage to show up in this space that you do show up and to pour into Fire Family Collective the ways that you pour into Fire Family Collective and with your own, department, all those things, it gives other people that courage too, to show up in their own ways. And it might be just in their own life, but that's huge, because we don't know what people are going through behind closed doors. And to know, like, secretly you might be helping these people. Like, okay, I saw Chelsea do this and she was so bold, and I'm going to be bold in my way as Amanda today. And, you're inspiring other people. It's so neat to know that your acts of courage do have a trickle effect outside of you, and that impact you'll never truly know is really cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm curious. So, how has the shift been? Now your kids are way older. Like you said, you had a really hard year last year. And a lot of people, there's that saying, right? You overestimate what you can do in 90 days and underestimate what you can do in a year. It's been almost a year from when we first chatted. How has the past year been besides starting Hold the Line at Home? And that wasn't even on your radar really a year ago. So what
No,
what has this past year been for you?
this past year's been quiet, actually.
Okay.
Despite starting Hold the Line at Home, we've just kind of tried to make the nuclear family a little bit more nuclear, for lack of a better term. And we've just really been spending most of our time together and just doing the things that we want to do and spending, as much quality time as we can. Most of that for half of the part of the year was by necessity, but then it just became the habit.
Yeah.
And so, we're doing our house projects. We're, cooking the meals we want to cook. We're learning to bake sourdough. My son that was in crisis in February last year started gardening, and he is now in charge of the entire garden and is his whole senior project. He's making a closed loop garden. So he's composting. And so we have our own very rich compost and like this beautiful garden outside. I have lettuce growing in the middle of the winter. I mean, it's fantastic.
It sounds like you're an incredible meal with the homemade sourdough and whatever herbs and vegetables and things he's able to grow. That's so cool.
The only thing I need to do is add chickens, but I'm terrified of them, so I can't do it.
Yes. You have chickens, you'll have some farm fresh eggs every day, or you said more like wood fresh eggs every day.
I mean, it's kind of like a farm out there. So yeah, we're just doing the things that we want to do and doing them as a family. And, and we can be without other people. That's great. But, it's just, we're spending this time really reconnecting as a family because for so long, I think we were disconnected. And it just happens.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like we didn't know going into Cameron's, or I didn't know going into Cameron's career, how disjointed we got over time.
Yeah.
And
Slowly
so
starts to unravel. I think
yeah.
he says yes to this, and then it impacts that, and then you're still having your own life, and so you're saying yes to this, and it impacts that. It just all the little things.
And it was pretty far gone before it couldn't be anymore, So without getting into too many details, but yeah, so we've just been trying to spend as much time as we can as a family and working through some stuff. And I really didn't see myself here a year ago. Like when you're in the thick of it, you just feel like so hopeless.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And it sounds like from something very hard, like a lot of beauty has bloomed, and you leaned into it. You're like, actually, this is what we didn't know we needed. And now, like you said, when you're like a pit of despair, how are we climbing our way out of this to this? Actually, we didn't know we needed this.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously, a lot of therapy went into all of that over the last year. So let's give credit where credit is due.
For
We
sure.
had some wonderful people along the way. And so, yeah, I, when you're going through something like that and you don't feel like you can do it yourself, there is help out there and there is hope.
Yeah. I think, again, being bold and sharing that, like we do utilize therapy and we do feel that it has supported our marriage or our relationship with our kid or my relationship with myself. I needed that. And just letting people know, like, it's not a secret. And this is a tool that is out there to support us. And I'm not ashamed of it. And I can shout from the rooftops how beneficial this is. And I hope that if that's something that you feel like you need in your life, you seek it out. And if you need resources, we've got lots of recommendations. So
yeah.
please.
So many.
Yes. There's so many of us in this space that can be supportive guides to, assist. So if anyone is listening to this, we're not medical professionals. We're not providing medical advice, but we are here to help guide you to any resources. So please reach out and know that we are fully supportive of that and that avenue if that's something you need. And I think something else, like you mentioned, with really focusing on your nuclear family that you're good at, and I love seeing, you take the trip for the random, let's go to sourdough date with Cameron. You take the trip for the concert and get home at 2 a.m. and you're really freaking tired, but you're so glad you did it. And
Yes.
you go to Palm Springs, and that's like a big family tradition for you. You did a Disneyland trip with all your like older boys, and they're super into it. All those things stack up, and they're adding value and pouring back into your family unit. And then how all of your family, your boys, Cameron, you are out in the world because you did all those things to recharge and reconnect and fill your cups and shine so brightly at home and authentically who you are in your family. And then you go back out in the world and pour into others. You can see it.
Yeah, I'm incredibly proud of my kids, actually.
Yeah.
Incredibly proud of them.
Yes. I love it.
Yes. And, I mean, and of course, like, they're my kids, so I'm incredibly proud of them. But we hear from the community that they are exactly doing that, pouring out into other people, and it's fantastic to see. It makes me feel like, okay, we must have done something right. We didn't do it all right, but we did something right. So
yeah, and we're gonna have bumps along the road and be like, well, could have done that differently, but here we are. So
hindsight's 2020, man. That's so true. Like, it's so cliche, but it's so true.
It's so true. I'm like, man, now I know that. And can I go back?
Yeah. Right. No, I don't want to go back. Thank you. I'd rather not relive that part of my life. Feet forward. Feet are pointed forward because that's the direction we're going, right? So just keep moving forward.
Yes. Okay. So is your middle son, is he in his junior or senior year now?
He's in his senior year.
Okay, that's what you said, senior project. June. Okay, so you have one in college, one that is a senior, and then is the youngest, what grade?
He's a sophomore.
Okay. What is that like? Because my kids are 6 and almost 5. You're in a completely different, end of parenting than I am.
I would say it's like having toddlers that are older.
Okay.
We're being honest. It's a different kind of hard, but it's hard nonetheless. But I gotta say, like, my kids are really growing into wonderful human beings, and they're really helpful. But keeping all the balls in the air and the pieces kind of together as a puzzle is challenging.
Yeah.
So yes, they are less dependent on me, but they're still here, and I'm still responsible for them. And it's still a lot to do on your own. So definitely, I feel like I'm a little bit more free, but I'm still chained to the kids.
Yes. So is the senior like driving? The sophomore is almost driving?
Nobody's driving.
Okay.
The senior decided not to get his driver's license until he's 18. So in April, hopefully he will be driving. We just got his truck working and running, so we're really excited about that.
Yeah.
And then the 15, he's actually not 16, he'll be 16 in June, so 15 and a half. He will not be, he hasn't even gotten his permit yet, so I don't know. He won't be probably driving until next school year.
Okay.
Which, I mean, we live in a really small town, so it's not like they have to drive. It's just a lot of driving for me back and forth.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about, that phase of like the terrifying, my kid is out in the world, like driving.
Yeah. Well, having a kid in college driving is terrifying all by itself.
Yeah.
Because I have no control over his driving, and I have no control over what he does in college. And so that's an adjustment that you have to make when you're becoming an empty nester.
Yeah.
It's a really weird, I had somebody tell me when my oldest was a senior in high school, it's a really weird feeling because you're so excited that they've come to this place, that you've gotten this far, that you've run the race and you're at the finish line. but you don't want to let him go. Like you just want to hold on to him forever. So it's this really weird dynamic feeling. Like I'm elated that we got to graduation and he's going to graduate, but I'm sad because he's leaving, kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot of emotions this year. I mean, I just did my senior portraits for our 17-year-old, and it was fantastic. It was fun to do with them, but it was also kind of like, oh, it's happening.
Yeah, it's very bittersweet reality. Like,
Very bittersweet reality. So it's a weird place to be as a parent. Teenage years are hard. They're hard.
yeah,
You've got hormones and attitudes, and you're trying to shape these little humans into grown adults, and they're not ready, and you're not ready. It's this like push me, pull you kind of emotion. And so that's where we're at.
yeah,
It's great, but it's, like you said, bittersweet.
yeah. And all of that is a lot to navigate, regardless of what your personal career is, your family life, your spouse's family life. But then you add in a 20-year firefighter life and the different roles that Cameron has had and how often he's gone and all of that. And I can't imagine those moments where you're like, you're not coming home for another 3 days. And how am I going to manage,
Yeah, in the beginning, that was really tough. Now I'm like, oh, you're going to be gone for another 3 days? Whatever.
Okay.
Great. You're gone for 3 days. My stuff doesn't change. Like we are so into our routines at this point that like him being here is a bonus rather than me looking at it like, oh gosh, you're going to be gone for another 3 days. Like I hate the schedule. The schedule is what the schedule is. There's nothing we're going to do to change it. Unfortunately, that's just life. And so we just have to do the things that we're going to do and I plan for him to be gone. I don't even plan for him to be here.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I do. I'm like, my husband will be like, can I sign up for these days? And he's like looking ahead at the calendar. And I'm like, I literally expect you to be gone every single day. If there's something that I need childcare for, I will reach out to a friend or a babysitter, depending what time it is, or they're just coming with me. Like our life doesn't change because I've had to do that. It's just the reality of our dynamic, and we don't have family that lives close by. So if it is something that's like a longer thing, I have to plan ahead and like reach out to my cousin and either drive my kids an hour and a half to her house, or my sister, like who's 2 hours away, like, okay, I need someone overnight. Can you please a month and ahead, like do this? Because otherwise, like they're with me. It's just, that's my reality. And the solo parenting aspect is just, it is what it is.
It is what it is. And I mean, it's tough when they're little because they're so dependent on you. Like you're in the thick of it right now. I remember being in the thick of it and feeling, I was really resentful, not going to lie. It was like, well, he gets to be out doing his thing with his career and it's taking priority over mine. And gosh, the kids are sick today and I have to stay home from work. Why does it always have to be me? And I was in that for a really long time, not going to lie. But now I look at it as if I'm privileged to get to stay home with my children. It changed from an I have to an I want to, or I get to. And so I don't get as, I mean, I have my moments when he calls and he's like, I can't come home. And I'm like, we had plans, whatever. But that's a really quick thing. And I get over it really fast now, whereas I would have wallowed in it many years ago. And so I think that that's part of the growth that we were talking about earlier, right? Like we've grown together and I've had to look inside myself and say, I'm being a miserable human being because I am being resentful. And I let that resentment sit for way too long. And so I think it's a mindset shift.
For sure. Really. One of the veteran firewives here, she really challenged me with that mindset talk when we first moved here and John had lateraled and the kids were 2 and 1 and I was like just drowning, like, and she said, like, you need to put on a different pair of glasses and see the perspective differently. And I was just like shook. And that is one of those defining moments I remember. And the same thing with Ashley Iverson, meeting her for the first time. And
Gosh, I love Ashley.
I love her. I know. I totally have a girl crush on her. I told her that. I was like, you're my best friend and you don't know. And I probably sound like a crazy stalker person right now. And I was so nervous to come here, but we're friends. But
Whether you like it or not, we're going to be friends.
Yes, hearing her speak, again, it was one of those moments. And she said it like jilted, like I was jilted. And I am like, oh my gosh, I'm having this pity party for me in my head of how hard my life is. Her husband did not come home. And again, like I'm not a therapist, I'm not a medical professional. I don't know the psychology of this. It's probably not healthy. But hearing this veteran firewife and Ashley Iverson speaking and just, she's pregnant. She already has a toddler. Her husband's never coming home. I'm like, I can figure my shit out. Like I can figure my shit out. Just like you said, Chelsea, like I needed to make this change. I needed to step up and change things. I was not doing that. I did not have that mindset. I did not have that perspective. It was the whole like, woe is me, the world is hard, why is this happening to me? When there were things that I could change to make myself feel better, to make my life better, to impact our family, these kids that I'm responsible for raising and guiding, and my relationship with my husband, friends, like no one wanted to hang out with me. I was not in a good place to be a friend. Like obviously now looking back, and it's taken me years. Like this was not an overnight shift. And
no, not at all. Like mine wasn't either. Trust me. It wasn't like one day I was, wallowing and the next day I was fine. Absolutely not.
Right.
Absolutely not.
I think so. I met Ashley in 2022. And then it took until 2024 to like really make a big shift in pouring into myself. And then last year in 2025, like talking with you, seeing you live your life so just like living, like I felt like I was missing that. Like I had done a lot of things to change for myself and our family, but I still felt kind of like I was trapped in this like gilded cage. And our life is very beautiful, but I was like, I am not living for Amanda and I need to start doing things for me. And that's when I started like reaching out to my cousin and being like, can I drive my kids to your house so I can go do something for me? Because I'm not doing anything for Amanda. I'm doing all these things as a firewife. I'm doing all these things as a mom, a homeschool mom. I'm finally like moving my body, but like I need friends. I need to go do the world, and to have that kind of realization. It took a while, but slowly I'm building, and I really feel like I'm living life in a different way than like before. Like the fire department happened to me and I let it affect me that way, and having that resentment, like you said, of like, I didn't sign up for this and I'm really mad. Like, okay, well, what can I change so that I don't feel like it is controlling my life? It's a beautiful part of my life. I love it, but it's a part of my life. I am not just singularly a fire wife, and that is my whole life revolution. And my kids have to tote on that schedule as well. Like, no, we're multifaceted and our life is very dynamic
and nuanced and all of the things. And we need to do things for ourselves, and we need to go out and we need to live. And gosh, aren't we boring people if we don't? Let's not be boring.
Yeah.
And what are we teaching our kids if we just sit at home and wallow in our garbage? Like, we don't want our kids to live like that.
Yeah.
I want my kids to live. I want them to have fun. I want them to enjoy life and experience things. And that's always been part of why we travel and why we get out of the house and why we go do things. But it's also I want their childhood to be fun and exciting. And, they have some great memories. And a lot of the times I toted them all down to the beach by myself, and I sat there and fixed my attitude because I was upset, but they were having fun.
For sure. Any nature reset, recharge, like I always say that, like let nature take it away. Show up there, breathe in that fresh air, the trees, the beach, wherever it is for you, mountain, sea, like just it, let it be that medicine.
Yeah. Yeah. They would play in the river and I'd sit on the blanket on the beach and just sit there and just be like, okay, I'm going to make it through this. I'm going to make it through this. And at that time, my husband was out fighting fires for, 30 days straight and there was no break at home. So
Yeah.
what are you going to do? I'm like, I'm just going to pack him up, take him to the beach. That was my solution to that problem at the time. So,
And those are those moments when it's nice to have like the Fire Family Collective and Hold the Line at Home where you can say like, hey, Chelsea, I'm having a really hard time. Can I talk to you? Because I just need to feel seen and I know you're a safe space and I don't know how I'm going to make it through the next 5 minutes. And then, your friend calls you and says like, I'm here for you. Let me hear it. I can't fix whatever you're going through, but I'm going to hold your hand through it and give you a virtual hug. Or if they're close enough, like, I'm going to talk to you now and I'm going to see you in 2 days. I'm going to come over and we'll take the kids for a walk, put them in the stroller, and we're going to talk, like to have that community aspect of it, like you said, so you don't feel so alone when we get trapped in our head.
Right. Yeah, exactly. We do get trapped in our head. And I think that the other thing that I added was the 30-minute walk every day to get out of your head, right? I think you're doing some kind of exercise program with Peloton, right? Did I see a Peloton bike is coming?
Yes. I love my Peloton. I will scream that from the rooftops for sure. That I like as a new mom, we got a Peloton. COVID happened. We couldn't go to our, gym. And I was very sad, like just new mom, everything was already changing. And then you take away this community that felt like my part of my identity. And being able to have it again virtually was something better than nothing. And I cannot imagine going through newborn mom without having a Peloton.
I can't imagine having newborns during a pandemic. Like I can't even. I had teenagers and that was bad enough, like newborns.
Yeah, I think every phase is hard. I think for me as like a new mom, it was hard because I hadn't really established like a new mom group. And it was just even more isolating because you're grasping at straws to try to navigate this new season and everything's taken away from you. And it was pretty devastating. I had really bad postpartum anxiety, really bad postpartum depression. Like I probably could have benefited from some type of inpatient like support, to be honest. And we're on the different side of it, but it was very rough on me. And I know it affected our son, affected our marriage, my friendships. Like it was rough. And so again, now, yeah, I'm in a totally different season. I'm back to like pouring into myself and movement in ways that fill me up. I think, yeah, it's just unlocked like a new thing. Like we said, just like living in a different way. I'm listening to music and going to concerts and making new friends. And I want to sign up for a ceramics class and just,
that'll be fun.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Why not? I don't want to not try, I want to live life.
Yeah. And that's it. That's all it is just live life. You don't have to. I feel like we have a really, how do I say this without sounding mean? See, this is my problem is that I will just say things and then I will feel like they were really mean. So I'm learning to use a filter.
Or just like, say it differently. Like my husband always, and my sister, they're always like, this is what I say. I'm sandpaper. I don't always like say things very eloquently, but I get my point across and I'm not trying to be malicious. It just isn't always like beautifully wrapped in a package, but you got what I was saying.
Right? Yeah. My husband calls me sandpaper too. That's kind of funny that you said that. I'm more like a firecracker. I think that
warning label. Chelsea's warning label is firecracker.
Right. I'm trying to figure out how to make that into a tattoo actually.
I love that.
Yeah. Gosh, how am I going to say this? So I think that it can be, I think that if we're not careful and we don't pay attention, that we can make being a firewife our entire identity.
Yeah. And that could be for any role, military spouse, like whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
We can
maybe,
make that our entire identity. And it's not like this thing that happens overnight. It's this thing that gradually happens over time. Oh, well, I'm not going to go take the kids to the zoo because my husband has to work. I'm not going to go to that book club that I wanted to be part of because I have to be home with the kids. I'm not going to do the exercise boot camp that I want to so that I can be healthy because I can't find childcare for my kids. If we do that over time, those little, God, they're not sacrifices that we make. What are they? They're compromises. That's the word I'm looking for. Those little compromises that we make with ourselves over time causes us to become the firewife, and that's all we are.
and
or
so
just mom, or just the photographer or whatever. And so, same thing with my business. I could become just that's all I do all the time, or I can put it away for a little while and do something else. And so I think it's a really fine line and a really it's a balance act, But I think that's what I wanted to say. It's if we compromise too much, it can become our whole identity. And then what?
yeah.
What happens when they retire? Then what?
Yeah, I definitely feel like I was letting that happen. Like stay-at-home mom became my identity and shifting a lot of my personality because of the fears of my husband being a public, servant employee, and kind of having to make myself shrink and be small because I was afraid that I would do or say something that would get him in trouble with his career. And I just really slowly compromise until it was like, there's nothing of Amanda left. It's just this human filling this role as mom and partner. All the pieces of me are gone. And how do I reconstruct myself, but also form something new because I'm not the same person? So I think having people like you, like I said, step into these bold spaces and show us ways to do it, and have these other veteran firewives I can reach out to and say anything like, I need to get out of Ventura and take my kids to do something fun. Can we please spend time with you and go to Santa Clarita and have a great fun day, and just be around someone who's uplifting me and my kids, and we're laughing, and everything else is paused, for part of a day.
Yep. That's one of our things that we've always done is go to Palm Springs every year. And especially when we are having those moments of crisis, like February, we were planning the Palm Springs for October because we knew that we needed as a family to go do that. And it's getting out of your house. It's getting out of the place that you always are. It's getting away from work. It's, nobody takes their cell phone to the pool when we go to Palm Springs. Like everybody leaves their phones at home in the condo, and we just spend time as a family. The kids literally played poker with my parents almost the entire time that we were in Palm Springs.
Yes.
And more recently, we've been having our parents come with us. So it's not just our family, it's our extended family. But it doesn't even have to be that. It can just be, Sundays we're going to go to the beach together, or we're going to cook a meal together, or something really simple, but just to get away from that work environment and reconnect as a family. And then for ourselves, like I am not afraid to leave my kids at home and go just do something that I want to do.
Yeah.
Like you said, taking a ceramics class, or go getting a cup of coffee even, or going for a walk, or, it doesn't have to be extravagant.
Yeah.
And also my husband and I have a rule that every 2 to 3 months I get to go all by myself somewhere, and he's responsible for the kids so that I can, so that I can figure out who Chelsea is outside of this, right? We all need that.
Yeah. I went on my first sister's trip in 2024, and it was so eye-opening how much the kids needed that time with their dad, and to see and appreciate mommy and all mommy does and for my husband to connect with the kids in that way. And even now with him being home a few days from having surgery, and he's like, you're doing so much. And I'm like, this is the same stuff I've always done, now with the added element of the additional caretaking he's needed. But it's nice, like you said, to physically leave that and have that time where you're finding you as a human and they're figuring it out, and like just leave everything here.
Well, it makes them appreciate you more, I think, and vice versa. We appreciate them so much because they're gone so much.
Right.
And so when the tables turn a little bit, they're like, oh, this is what you have to deal with when I'm not here. Yes, this is what I deal with every single week, Henny.
It makes
and it's not, monumental things. It's everyday things. Oh gosh, there's dishes to do and laundry to do and kids to take places. And oh, wow, my schedule was interrupted 5 times today because I had to drive back and forth to the high school, whatever,
Yes.
And he's like, this is what you do every day? And I'm like, yeah, this is when I tell you, like, I got no work done today because I had to be with the kids, like driving them everywhere. I was really meaning that. Like,
Yeah.
it was true.
The commute time is crazy, and the more kids and the more activities, and the factor of missing each other, right? Like they always miss dad, but there's not a lot of time to miss mom. So have that is really nice. Like, I missed you, mommy. Like, oh, my heart.
Yes. It's always nice to be loved and missed when we're not here.
I'm really grateful that, you are creating the space with Hold the Line at Home, and that you're part of our Fire Family Collective. And we're all in the beginning phases of building this and connecting with people. So it's super fun to see where it is now and where it's going.
Yes. I'm actually super excited about it. I think it's going to be really, really, really good.
Yeah. Okay, let's do a silly question. Let's see. What is a random fact about you that always surprises people?
I'm an April Fool's baby.
Oh, really? That is
Yes.
really cool.
Why people think that that's so fantastic, but I am. I'm an April Fool's baby.
That is so cool. I love it. I don't know if I've ever met anyone else born on April Fools. Okay, cool. Okay, let's do one more. Let's see. Oh, if you could have any superpower, what would it be?
It's a really hard one. I can never answer this question. I think flying.
Yes.
Because I would just love to be able to just, hop up in the air and fly to wherever I want to be.
Yeah. It's like
not have to book a flight.
And you just let it all go. Yeah. And you can fly anywhere. Like, I'm going to go to Belize. So
yes. Yeah. Yep. I think that's mine. So I can just go wherever I want. Not have to book a flight to get there.
Yes. I love that. Cool. All right. Well, it was really great chatting with you. Thanks for hanging out with us, Chelsea. And we're excited to have you in the Fire Family Collective, and have a beautiful day.
Thank you for having me.
Mm-hmm.